Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, the place where geeks come to geek out. As always, I'm Poser.
I'm T.
Hey guys! We're back with a Geek Out Sesh. I feel like it's been weeks.
It literally has been weeks.
I know. Let's see, last week we were literally recovering. Me more than you.
100%.
You were recovering from a social and dopamine high.
I replaced so many batteries that weekend, it's not even funny.
Well, it's a good thing you packed so many extra.
Big facts.
Alec wants to know who you are, T.
I have eyebrows, you don't.
That sexy man with no eyebrows. Excuse me, I just got them retinted. Thank you very much.
You should get your money back.
There's not that much there to tint. You can only tint what's there. There's more than you think, but still not that much.
You can get hair transplants. Can you get eyebrow transplant?
I mean, probably.
Where do they pull that hair from?
Your butt? I don't know. Some follicle somewhere?
I think you should do that.
Okay. No, I just couldn't. I couldn't. Knowing that
I'd be willing to put forward our 4 Geeks by Geek funds to you having eyebrows.
That's our new dono. Guys, buy me eyebrows. Instead, we should buy tea drinks. Because someone's got a birthday coming up.
Yee. On Thursday, the third day. Name that show.
On Thursday, the third day.
Monday, one day. Tuesday, Wednesday, when, where, what day? Thursday, the third day.
I don't know. New
Friends,
girl?
you uncultured swine. It's when Chandler. It's when Chandler wrote down his audition, but he forgot to tell him because he wrote it on the whiteboard, or he wrote it on the little doodle board and didn't tell him.
Okay. My wife gets mad at me every time I don't get a Friends reference. Because it's
the older I get, the less great the show is, but unfortunately, it is my childhood.
Well, I just saw Courtney Cox yesterday in Scream 6.
Great. 5 was better, but 6 was still good.
Yeah, I've got thoughts. We can talk. We can like vibe about it on a Wednesday.
We should talk about it on the Geeky Scorecard coming out whenever I get my life together.
Yeah. But hey, if this is your first time to a Geek Out Sesh, welcome. Whether you're watching back on YouTube or listening back on podcast, or you're here live in the chat on a Monday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard. People like Farles Barkley Lives, Alec as always, Baff as always, Ignatius is here. If you are, shout out. We want to hear you in roll call. A poll started and I see my name. How is Boser's hair?
We do need to give lots of love. Thank you to Aristotle Gaming for following, Wrecker7 for following, and Ref DM Stevens for following. And I have a weird feeling I know where those people come from because we're no longer just content creators. We are officially TikTokers.
Hey, finally did it.
Much to Boser's chagrin because he is not happy that we officially have more followers on TikTok than Instagram.
I'm not unhappy. It's just we've been working on building an Instagram following for 4 years, and in 4 days, TikTok outnumbered it by hundreds of thousands.
And the man who really caused this to pop off just slid into chat.
Braylon, too funny. Braylon.
So, if you don't know what we're referencing, you should, because everybody's on TikTok and these videos went viral. I feel disgusting saying that. I would like to wash my mouth out. So I don't feel good about that.
I'm proud of us.
We had some videos pop off a little bit, and it's I'm going to be honest, it's thankful to one man because that boy can stir up a conversation in a chat poll. But nothing will, in all of those videos, nothing tops that man sliding through in the arm wrestling video. And he and I are now best friends. He might not be aware of that, but he and I are besties now.
Oh, yeah. It just happens. So if you haven't already, go find us on TikTok. Oh, my God. We don't even have a command for our TikTok.
We don't, because until last week, we had 300 some followers.
Honestly. And it's 10x'd in the last week.
4,300.
Go watch. T had this amazing idea of side quest NPC where he dressed like a NPC, had a sign that you can see in his background says side quests here.
Yeah.
And
made by Bozer.
People like Braylon would come up and ask for a side quest. He'd pull one randomly from his pocket, and you have to do something random right there on the show floor. Be it find somebody dressed like somebody, or like Braylon had to do, find somebody who could pronounce. Can you pronounce it yet, Braylon? Say it with me, T. 1, 2, 3.
I've gotten so much flack because 1, I don't watch Slice of Life, and 2, I don't watch subbed.
I don't either. I watch dubbed.
But yeah, the video series has currently reached 1.3 million people.
That's insane. And growing. And
analytics has always been my downside as a content creator. But thankfully, I recognize that this is a one-off pop. So I'm okay with it being what it is, because even our smaller videos are getting more viewership than they were previously. So this is doing exactly what I needed it to do from jump.
T, you're a genius, and this is why.
I'm telling you, this just shows you should listen to me more.
I listen to you 80% of the time.
Yeah, and the other 20% of the time, it takes 6 months for you to come back with the same idea. Well, and that was a great idea when you said that. I just didn't want to get my head around it.
Any Hoosers. Hi, Oceana. Sorry I haven't said hi. She's here. And Zabri just showed up. Hi, Zabri. We spent
hello, friends.
The entire weekend with her last C2E2. But Oceana found the question of the day, so use Command QOTD to find out the question, which is, what's a game from your childhood that should get an update for adults? And you can take that any way you want. T, do you have an answer for that?
Yes, but thankfully both of mine are getting their remakes. Knights of the Old Republic is getting a remaster, and that will be a game that deserves every spark of reignition. And we're getting another Fable game, so I'm pretty happy. Those are the only two things I could think about, and I'm getting them as an adult, so that's all I give a shit about.
Fable's getting a reboot, like they're starting.
No, it's getting Fable 4 is coming.
Oh, okay.
So it's a new Fable game, and I'm just hoping it's going to be more like 1 and less like 3. But that's a controversial thing. So,
Retro Eugen, the PK himself, says Sonic Adventure 2 battle. Baff says PS1 Bugs Life.
Absolute banger.
Retro Eugen also says PS1 Bugs Life. I was thinking board game because I think in the original draft of that question of the day, I said board game, but I didn't when I typed it. So my favorite game from like my childhood was 13 Dead End Drive. Anybody? Anyone?
I've heard
anywhere?
that game. Let's Get Rollin's a big fan of that one. I think that she said that's her favorite game of all time, but I don't know that one.
It's kind of like Clue meets Mousetrap meets, I don't know.
I would love to play a Mousetrap that worked 100% of the time.
It never does. That's part of the fun.
Ever.
But I want like a real life forensic file, nitty gritty, dark 13 Dead End Drive.
Little Big Planet, banger, respect. Alec, somebody mute Alec until I tell you to unmute him.
Hey, mod, Alec, can you mute Alec? But I'm pretty curious who our guests are tonight and what their question of the day is, because if you are showing up for the Syracuse Gaymers, and you're in the right place. They are out there in northern upstate New York doing amazing work by creating a community where it's safe for LGBTQ members to get together, make friends, and play games while supporting the local haunts of the town. So I'm excited because I'm kind of wanting to do something similar here in our area. Let us know if that's something you're excited about, chat, or in the comments below. Ocean, I'm with you. Candyland. Hell yeah. Change it to Candyman. Make it a horror board game. Fuck yeah. I'm with you. Sorry, I got distracted. But let's give a big warm welcome with a ton of brand new emotes by Farles Barkley in the chat. Give it up for Amelia and John from the Syracuse Gaymers.
Hey everyone.
I hit the wrong button, T.
Awesome. That was a great cheer. Wow.
We use it. We there it goes.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, the demographics got a lot older after that.
Yeah. Instantly. Hi, guys. Welcome, Amelia and John. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, doing pretty good. Again, thanks for having us on. We're really excited to be here.
Thanks for being on.
Nobody's said yes to us in months, so this is quite the treat.
We're kind of just like cycling all through all of our friends at this point, so.
And aren't they all our friends?
My dog was nicely sleeping, and then the cheer woke him up. So you're to blame if he makes any noise.
Will he be making a cameo? I do think I have to see the.
He'll make a cameo. He's been given his sleepy time. So when he's asleep, I'll pick him up like a baby.
Oh.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
If we keep waking him up.
Well, right now he's chewing.
He's enjoying my ankle.
Yeah, he's chewing on John's leg, so I'm fine with keep making noises.
Okay. Just gonna have one stump by the end of the stream.
Yeah, that's right. Anything for the show, Gotta do what I gotta do.
Also, it's all content.
I need to clarify, Syracuse is in central New York, not upstate, not northern.
Yeah, you buffoon. God,
no.
That.
How am I supposed to know?
We're right in the middle.
Somebody said the word upstate an hour ago.
The state.
Yeah, anything above New York City is upstate.
New York City is like the most southern bottom tip.
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
Yeah, talk to a New Yorker from any different place, and we all have different definitions of what upstate.
Yeah. Anything above Westchester is.
They should just redistrict. New York City's called New York. The rest of the state's called upstate.
Oh God, no! It's that you're making a joke, but that's a real thing.
Oh my God!
It is truly a thing many people have thought about.
Yeah.
But no, we're New York too.
Yeah, we're New York too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always funny. Like people are like, "Oh, I live in New York." I'm like, "Oh, like cool. Whereabouts?" Like, "Oh, like Brooklyn." Like Manhattan. Like, "Oh, okay, no,
Okay.
we have different definitions of what." It's like, okay.
Like you don't have an accent. You're not from New York.
Exactly.
Well, we got to know, before we launch into all the amazing things that you guys are doing, can you give us your answers to the question of the day? What is a game or a board game from your childhood that could use an update as adults?
So I'm going to go first because this is something that I've been trying to launch alongside Syracuse Gaymers. Is I bought 2 games of Operation, and I want to make Operation like a speed game or a drinking game. I want to. Have you ever heard of Cario Mart or Drunk?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Coming Wednesday.
Cario Mart.
Similar to that, like a Drunk Doctor or something like that. I haven't worked it all out, but
I love the toxicity of it.
Yeah. If I keep getting operations, maybe we can have a whole beer pong table with everyone in front of us.
20 different operations on the table.
Just call it Surgeon with Tenure.
Yeah. Dark, I like it.
But is he wrong?
Am I wrong?
So that's mine. I was very excited when you said
that's a great idea. Okay, I'm writing all these down. Okay.
Yeah. It's already trademarked. You can't steal it.
Okay, well, don't tell Amelia.
Listen, once you put it on Kickstarter, don't tell my fiance, but I will back it 100%.
What about you,
currently
John?
grounded from Kickstarter.
I'm pretty sure, is that Parker Brothers? I'm pretty sure they would have
50-50.
Milton Bradley, one of those. They would probably have an issue with it. I'd have to, I'm workshopping it. Don't worry.
Listen, what happens?
Their lawyers already know.
Yeah.
And have gotten wind of it.
What happens in someone's garage on a folding table stays in someone's garage on a folding table.
Yeah. No, I want countrywide tournaments. This is going to be real.
They're going to shut you down like Nintendo and Smash.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
So mine, we kind of did the same thing where Emil went board game and I went video game with Tia. And I was thinking about it for a while, but one of the ones I just had an idea of would be Billy Hatch and the Giant Egg. I don't know if either of you know what it is. It's it was an old Sega game back in the day when Sega was kind of doing random one-off games. It's like this kid, he rolls eggs around and eventually you hatch them. But it's a really fun platformer, kind of about rolling, Monkey Ball-esque almost.
Okay.
But it was probably 2003, 2005 or something. And it's one of those games I got from Blockbuster in the clear case that just probably $4.99 in the bin, no idea what it was. And I would definitely look it up. The gameplay's crazy. The theme song is outlandish. The character design is, they all have little chicken things on their head. It's crazy, but it really has that early 2000s.
This is unlocking a memory for me, and I'm scared to Google it because I don't need to trip down this rabbit hole.
I want to Google it.
What's it called?
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Put it up on the...
I'll put it up, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Oh my god!
This is going to unlock some things for me, I feel like, and I don't know if I'm ready to go down that memory lane.
Oh my god!
I can,
Does it have any sexy fan art for it? Can you check that?
Oh, I hope so.
There's a rule. I do remember that shit.
I wish I
the word hentai.
No, just Rule 34.
Oh, okay.
Do not put that on stream.
Please. You're going to see my profile pop up and all the stuff.
I remember
this is a dedicated Tumblr page.
Man.
I remember this because the art styles as a kid, like, instantly hooked me. And I was like, I want to be able to draw like that.
Yeah, it was really, like, there's, different creatures that would come out of the eggs. And, like, they had Sonic come out of the egg, like Tails.
Cool.
Knight would come out of one of them. So it was a cool little crossover game in itself. But, yeah, it's like a short kind of platform where you go for, like, high scores and stuff. And
okay, yeah. I mean, that. Oh, look,
it was a lot of fun.
There's Sonic. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we're all running to our like retro gaming store after this.
No, see the problem is it's a GameCube game, and you can't buy a GameCube game without selling the left testicle anymore. And I'm over this nonsense.
True, yeah.
I won't. We're not going to get started.
It should get its revival. That'll solve so many problems.
It could be all so simple, but Nintendo wants to keep dicking us around. Coming for you, bitches.
Is this where I use? Don't even get me started.
Also, I believe you have 2 friends in chat so far. I believe we missed the first comment referencing Oliver. I'm assuming that would be the name of your dog.
That is the name of my dog. Aw, hey Michaela.
We have Michaela and who's the other one?
Toledo's cat.
Oh,
here
you
to
go.
see Oliver.
I don't know who you are.
I know your cat or your dog.
My dog. He's a really popular
He's
dog. He did just. I said the name of the other person before that, and he started waking up because that's people. So I won't be saying any more names.
Animals are more important than humans. We've got Sky and I've got 2 neighbors. We know their dog's name is Appa. We don't know who their owners are. Every time we see Appa, we yell Appa down the road, and the little bastard will run towards us. No idea who his owners are. Not even in the slightest.
Yeah. I have to make such a conscious effort not to be like, hi, and to be like, oh yeah, the person, yeah, you probably would like to talk to.
My wife literally just yesterday is like, isn't it weird that it's completely societal norm to ask the name of a random pet and not even give a shit about the human's name?
Priorities.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm fine with that.
Right.
We are in the peak of humanity. That's what I'm thinking.
Dogs are better than people for the most part.
For every part?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You guys.
Some dogs are real assholes. Can you swear on this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Can I fucking swear?
Immediately black bar across her face. Just like, shut it down.
If you guys aren't aware of what Syracuse Gaymers are out there doing in Syracuse, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do as geeks.
So we set up game events throughout Syracuse, catering to LGBTQ plus people. Everybody's invited, just don't be a bigot.
That's a great, easy rule.
Yeah. We figure as like having gay in the name
It's going to limit the clientele you don't want.
Yeah. Though there have been a couple times where it's like, oh, did you miss the Y? But
yeah, we make sure to kind of spell it out sometimes too. We're like gamers with a Y.
Yeah.
And like a Y, no, right in the middle.
Yeah. But yeah, it's we've been doing it for a little over a year.
Nice.
Yeah, we just, as Amelia said, we just kind of geek out, whether that's board games or video games, and just making sure that everyone kind of comes together and has a really fun time.
So you've been doing this for a year. What's got you started? What was the idea that you realized this needed to happen in Syracuse?
So I started it back in college. I was an RA. I did a lot of events, and my favorite event was we put on a big game night. Oh yeah, RAs.
RAs, baby.
Were you like a good RA? Were you a narc? Because I wasn't.
It depends. In my opinion, do whatever you want in your room. If you're not a dumbass, I won't know about it. But if you're partying across from my room with clink, clink, take shots, I'm like, I gotta call it in, dumbo.
Okay, good. I've met some people who are like hardcore RAs, and I was like, "You're 30, you gotta relax." But no, my favorite event was we put on this big like arcade in the basement, and we had a big screen. We had a Mario Kart tournament, and like, I pooled all the RA's money, and we did like a big raffle, and had all like TVs. We made a little arcade. And so I'm a photographer. I have like a pretty flexible schedule. In the winter, I'm like essentially unemployed. And so I was like, oh, I should do events, you know? And as a treat for me quitting a marketing job that was like soul sucking, I was like, I'm going to finally do it. I did it at a theater I had worked with for a little bit. And, you know, it was a modest success. And then John was at the first event and he asked if I wanted help. And so it was born.
Here I am, yeah. I'd pretty much gone to the first one, as Amelia said, and I was like, hey, this is really cool. Like, I had, at the time, I still do, have like a huge video game collection. So I was like, I would love to come put this to use and be able to share it and play some games with everyone. And so that's what I did.
That's awesome. Hey, Amelia, after the stream, we got to compare notes as a current marketing guy for a theater.
Oh, I was in marketing. I was in marketing for a big university.
Oh, okay.
I just thought he was like, let's just make it easy. Like, this is where we're at. Just come find us.
A little bit of that too, yeah.
It's the biggest reason people know about Syracuse is SU. But yeah.
I was like, I wore the Syracuse shirt.
So was the very first event that you put on targeted towards the LGBTQ community, or did that come later?
Yeah. So it was at a queer club in Syracuse. So it was, and I called it Gamer Night because I like a pun. And then when we didn't even come up with the name Syracuse Gaymers until like a few events, because every event at Wonder Bar was just Gamer Night. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I could find it, but I think it was like a month into it that we were like, oh, we should do this at other places, because I love Wonder Bar, the first place we did it, but it's like, it was hard to get into, you know, there were a lot of, it's a busy venue, and we're like, there's no reason we can't do this everywhere in the city.
Yeah, we were really locked into that one place with like either a Friday or Saturday night. It was a bar, as Amelia said, so it was really kind of for a certain clientele. Yeah. And we enjoyed that. It was an awesome space, and we're really appreciative of being able to do that. But we just want to take it a little bit bigger than that. So as Amelia said, I think it was probably a month or two after I joined, at least. But we kind of sat down and we're like, all right, let's figure out what we want to do with this, how we want to move forward, especially with like finding new places. We're like, we really should, at least, if we want to build a community, not just have these as one-off events, when we can, get a platform for people to come together, someplace for them to recognize, and along with that, and it was awesome how easy it was. We really just like, you'd meet in Barnes & Noble for a while and just kind of brainstorm a little bit, and we're like, hey, let's just like go ahead, we'll make our Instagram, we'll make our Discord, make our Twitter, just make everything. And Amelia knows photographer, really good with graphic design too, so she was able to put together an awesome picture for us, and we use that as our profiles for everything. And
it was my Adobe like 10 images trial. Every single graphic is from that Adobe stock trial. So thank you, Adobe.
I'm doing this.
I will not be getting it. So the graphic
is free alternatives. It's okay.
Yeah.
So what led you, since the LGBTQ thing was part of it from the beginning, what led you to try to make a way for that community versus other communities, or just make it broad for anyone?
Well, I'll take this because as a woman in the gaming like world, I always was like looking for other gamers, and I don't know, I would shoot a lot of conventions and stuff, and like there are plenty of like super great gamers, but like it does attract some like misogynist. I don't know if you've ever been a woman playing GTA,
All
but
the time.
yeah,
100% relate to that.
Not often.
I'm very thankful that my voice sounds like a little kid. So a lot of times I'd be like, "Yep, I'm an 8-year-old," because you're nicer to an 8-year-old than a woman.
Oh my God.
Mention you're queer, and like, oh fuck that. I had like I keep worrying that I'm swearing. I forget.
Right, don't have to worry about that at all.
Let it fucking fly.
I had a pride like a pride logo on my, you know, like my icon.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. So that's why I was like, you know what? Even if it's nice to have a space for LGBTQ, but it's also just like I said earlier, it weeds out the racists and the homophobic people. You know, they tend to be like, I don't know, they're good.
It's definitely a weird thing because I'm assuming you guys we're all in the same age range, but growing up as a heterosexual white man, it was definitely like we all joke, just everybody in the gaming community talks about like just Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, and like playing even Call of Duty now, it has vastly changed, but there is still the homophobia around a lot of it. I came out as pansexual, and so now I do the same thing. I'm like, I throw my flag everywhere because I'm very affirmative that these hands are rated E for everyone. If you want to fuck around, you can find out.
Yeah.
But again, I can't relate to the fact like I am a man. I don't have to worry about those types of things. But you hear those things still on such a regular basis. I'm like, why are one, you so angry? Two, who hurt you? Like, do you need a hug? Because there's no reason for you to be acting to this degree on any level.
And like the gaming world is both like some of the queerest, like it's like a place where, you know, think about The Sims is where a lot of people realized they were gay. You know, making a couple same, I mean, speaking some people, but like RPGs are when a lot of people discovered they were trans. You know, like it's, and like you go to these gaming conventions and like you see all, like it's just so queer, but there is still that, like, you know, the super dude bro Mountain Dew gamer parody,
the cliche that everybody jokes around that shouldn't be there, but still takes up too much of the market.
It's very doing to be ironic, but it's just like it's too sincere sometimes. You're like, wow, it actually exists. Yeah, it's an interesting intersection, I think. But it's kind of going back to that too. A reason we did do LGBTQ focus on it is there's actually a surprising amount of like gaming communities here in Syracuse too already that exist for everyone else. There's like board game groups. There's like for a while it's like part of like a Smash Bros specific group. There's like specific fighting club groups. So it was already interesting that, you know, we got a hefty nerd demographic. We have like a video game bar, so there's already plenty of places for people to come that are nerds and geeks. So we really wanted to find that niche that really we could have a community with what we identify with.
We have a huge gaming community. Like, I travel a lot for work, and I always like to go to the local comic book store and the local gaming store. And there are a lot of like weird cities that their only gaming store is like GameStop. Anyway, I'm just like, that was just a little Syracuse plug. Syracuse is really good for games. You know, we got like 4 or 5 local gaming stores. But
and we actually do have one of the largest like retro gaming conventions in the Northeast.
Yeah,
really. WinCon, so that's really cool.
Let me know the date so I can.
What's it called?
It's usually in October, I believe.
Yeah, retro.
Time to save up.
Retro GameCon. Yeah, it's
I
really
think
cool.
I'm writing it down, T.
The 8th and the 9th, or the 9th and the 10th.
Yeah, usually around
when I get my vacation time back, so that's perfect.
Do it, come visit. They had the creator of like Qbert there this past year. They had voice actors and actresses from
Yeah, it's
Genshin
really
Impact.
blown up.
They actually had a gamer panel too, like gamer with a Y panel.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a really cool event. But there's like tons of things like that just all over Central New York.
So it sounds like the identity of the Syracuse Gamers is already intrinsically like in the thread of the town, from gaming to GAYming to just having the heart of gamers everywhere.
It's a very gaming friendly town.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So there was already taken, like John said,
Yeah.
that was already taken care of. So
Yeah, it's definitely something that, we did put a lot of work into building what we have now, but it was also kind of came pretty easily. Like we had events and they just kind of naturally grew. Like we didn't have any roadblocks or anything, and the community was there and people were happy to share it. And I think the algorithm helps out a little bit, and people would see it on Instagram pop up and then be like, oh, like Syracuse Gamers, like I am both those things, and just naturally join from there. So
speaking of those events, tell us a little bit about what, if I were to come to a gaming event, what can I expect? Maybe from the first one to what can I expect now that you've kind of got a few under your belt?
The first ones were pretty small. They were, we had like a handful of video games and like, I don't know, like a dozen board games. And now, because Ollie, go to bed.
No, Ollie, come up here. Ollie.
close. He's real
Ollie.
close.
Ollie, up. Come on, up.
Yay!
Up. There you go.
Oh my goodness!
Hi, Ollie.
There you go.
He deserves all the love.
Oh,
I would like him for the rest of the show, please.
You can.
Yeah, we'll leave and then we'll set up Ollie Cam here. 24/7.
Yeah.
He'll probably, like I said, look at that. Look at those sleepy treats kicking in.
Oh,
Wow.
bedtime.
You
So
notice
tiny.
But yeah, now because I have a shopping addiction, we have over 50 board games.
Nice.
Going
Can't
from
relate to that at all.
yeah. It's mostly just an excuse to keep buying board. He really has noticed himself. But yeah, now we have a ton of systems. We always with our bigger events, we do like a Mario Kart tournament with prizes.
Always a safe one.
Yeah, and sometimes the Smash, but like that hasn't.
You gotta be careful with that one. There's a level of toxicity that comes with that game.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 people that come that are like really, really good, and then there's other people that were like usually will participate in Mario Kart, and they're like, well, I've never played Smash Bros, but I like to have fun. And then
people
it's
are afraid
it's really
of Smash.
well, at least Mario Kart you can still have fun and
It's
race.
it's a weird one that like one of my coworkers and buddies in chat was a ranked Melee player for a very, very long time. And it's that weird thing, like I'm good with my buddies. He's one of those people like you see like clips of on the internet, like juggling and nobody's allowed to play the game with him. And like you have one person like that show up to a tournament, that ruins everybody else's fun. Because the likelihood that you have another person at that level, pretty minuscule.
Yeah, we've run into that whenever, like on a Wednesday, like we talked about doing Smash on a Wednesday, and we've done it in the past. And like we're here just to vibe. Like it's a community game night, it's a chatting. But then somebody, because when you put Smash up on Twitch, anybody from the internet will come. They're like, oh, Smash. And you'll get that one guy, and then he's pissed at us for just wanting to vibe and not being competitive enough.
Well, that's what I was like, oh, we should do Smash. And John was like, I'm worried that it's going to get some like legit,
Yeah.
And we avoided that. But like I will say, as someone who has been playing Smash since GameCube, I didn't get into. I still to this day don't, and I've owned every Smash. I don't know how to double jump. If I get thrown off the side, I'm like, I watch
Guess I'll die.
like float, and I'm like, well, how did? And then they're like, oh, let me, and I'm like, no, it's magic.
You have to do some tricks sometimes.
It's magic.
So
it's nothing.
So I just. I get it. I'm a big video gamer. I've played every iteration. I've unlocked all the characters by brute force, not out of like any skill. I do the whatever. I look up on my phone what the easiest way, and I only unlock it for parties. So I get it. But
So-
Mario Kart, I can play Mario Kart.
Everybody can play Mario Kart.
Even my
Yeah,
wife
so-
plays Mario Kart.
Yeah, they're like, what is it? Oh, it's a racing game. What is Mario's or what is Smash Brothers? Like,
Well, do you have 5 minutes for me
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
over everything? Yep,
Let's get into the meta of this real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
exactly.
Who's
So
the
we
top
really did
characters right now?
start from doing things like that at like just at Wonder Bar really, and then we do events at a lot of different places too. We'll do stuff. We've done a couple of like cat cafes they have, which are just like little cats running around
three
with
times
teas and
a
stuff.
campus.
I
So
want a
that's-
cat cafe.
Yeah,
I will say the last time we were at one of the cat cafes, the games are in with the cats, and one of the cat cafes it's like in a separate room.
Uh-huh.
But the one where it's in with the cats, a cat peed on like 3 of the games. But thankfully,
No.
they're like nice. It was pandemic. It was
Yeah.
a glossy cover. It was fine. But
And I bet they got on the tables and just laid on everything.
yeah, no, it's
All the
like hard
boards.
mode, you know.
yeah.
Hard mode, yeah.
Somebody's gonna play with that's a stage hazard. If like they knock a piece off, like sorry, that's out of play. Like oh, it's gone. What can you say? The cat has decided. But yeah, we'll do stuff at like breweries too. We've done stuff at like libraries, at gift shops. We just did one this past Friday at like a half brewery, half like outdoor food truck space. So they've really evolved from going to this one specific venue that we
Yeah.
had to kind of all over whoever will take us.
And
I-
oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
A big thing I wanted to do is Wonder Bar is a theater area. It's like and stuff, but I really wanted to have like some half because like I don't know, I would have loved to do something like this when I was like 16, you know. And
we've gotten a decent amount of people that are teenagers to come join us, and that was really cool to see. I remember one of the cat cafes is like their dad dropped her off. They're like, she's a little nervous, whatever, but she came in. We like really low key played some Cards Against Humanity. It was a lot of fun. Just to have people come out of their shell and have a space for people to do that.
And I think you guys just in general, like the LGBT community is like the easiest way to get people to like come out and be open and honest with themselves, because like, oh, I'm not a social interaction person. Regardless of this, I don't just meet random people well. Because if you go out,
you just nailed it at C2E2.
but it's one of those things like I won't go to like my local gaming nights because like in the back of my head, there's still always that like, oh, I'm going to run into those like cliches that nobody wants to be. But you throw LGBTQ, I'm like, oh, like that's just going to be an open and accepting thing because they all know what it's like to be ridiculed. They all know what it's like to be prejudiced against. So you can go into that with a safe assumption, like I'm going to be welcome and loved here and not have to deal with the potential cliches from taking place. Because like you said, throwing up just gaymers or just LGBTQ, you're turning away the negativity that you don't want to possibly come across to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, just showing up or like recognizing that they're going to a gay event, like that makes them really vulnerable. So that really takes away a lot of the stress of suddenly, no, I have to be like super social and like outgoing. It's like, well, you already kind of got over that initial hurdle, and everything else after that is so much easier.
And it's a nice it's a nice place that even people who are like struggling with coming out but they like gaming can be like, oh well, I'm an ally.
It was just a game night, like
Oh,
it was just something to do.
So that's why I like really
Good
like
gateway.
to make it gateway. I really like to make it sure. Sorry, the dog is falling asleep so hard. Make sure everybody knows everybody's included. I was a big closet case in college, and I like wouldn't go to any, and I was like openly bi, but I would always use the thing like, oh well, I'm technically straight, I'm basically straight. And I remember a professor invited me to an LGBTQ club, and that's all it was. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going there.
That ain't for me. That ain't me, bro.
But if it was like a gaming thing, then I would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to support my friends, I guess. Play games, So we're just trying to like push the gay agenda and get
Just a
people
little bit,
to like.
Push the gay agenda.
Can't be stopped.
We're meeting our quota, boys.
No, but you laugh. But if we were to have an event like that here in Indiana, in most parts of the state, That's exactly how it would be.
That was actually my next question. Do you guys run into those hurdles of like, have you been turned away because of the LGBTQ portion of it, or are you guys in an area that's like, no, that's just is what it is?
We're in the city proper. It's fairly like progressive. We've had a few places turn us down, and like, are they horrible homophobes? I don't know. But
not saying they're not.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of times I'm not even sure, as we kind of discussed earlier, if they even process like that we are gay, because like if you really don't look for gamers, a lot of people have been like, oh, they're just like writing gamer, but like in a quirky way,
funny gamer
way.
way.
And not even realizing that it's LGBTQ.
Like they think it's leet speak. Or
yeah,
whatever.
it really is. So we kind of have to explain, like, yeah, no, we're like, once they inspect us, they're like, okay, we get it now. But I think there have been a few occasions where people just don't even realize that we're gay until we get there.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing. Is like my better half is native, so she's dark skinned. And we have to be mindful about like where we still go, because we still get dirty looks for being an interracial couple. Like there's bars she physically cannot go into because it's like a whites only bar. Won't say it, but like the energy is there. So it's always one of those things like you don't want to assume that is a hurdle you are having to overcome. But it, like you said earlier, when it comes to you still playing games, like it's almost good that you have like a higher pitched voice to distract from the fact that you're a female and people may think that you're just a young child playing the game, because there is still pieces of shit out there that we have to like work our lives around.
Yeah, really are. And as really said, Syracuse is kind of a nice little bubble right now, but you know, if you kind of go any farther than that, it can really struggle with, you know, finding comfortable situations.
And there still are, I won't name them, but there are venues that
if you don't want to, we will. We'll air it all out.
There's like there's a local coffee shop that is like very like outspoken anti-gay,
Fuck you, bitches.
And so part of me kind of wants to ask.
It's definitely that weird thing of like, do you want to call them out for it and then like bring in that whole new
right? Yeah.
Like,
fuck
say
you for being a piece of shit.
Yeah. But they'd probably just do like, oh well, we can't, you know, we don't have. I don't know. I kind of want. I want to get in a fight a little bit, but it's like you don't want that. I would be so like depressed if I lose, but part of me does just want to, like, I'm older, I feel like protective over these like young kids, and I'm like, I could be a Karen, I could like get in
I can fill a role to protect us.
But those venues that do allow you and are excited, how do they react to like do they get an increase in business? Are they excited that they are making more money, or are they just like, okay, we'll put up with you for this Friday this week, but it's not going to be a weekly thing?
It can be a mix. I think a lot of places, once they don't really know what to expect with us, especially when we're now just starting to really venture out more into a lot of different venues. But like there's one restaurant I know that sticks out in particular where they really welcomed us and setting everything up. Like it was the smoothest setup ever. Usually it takes around an hour to get everything up and running, but like they're like, oh, here's the cord for this, here's the plug, here's the table. It was great. And you know, we usually do bring in around like it can range from like 10 to 30 people to a place. And this restaurant, like
we filled it up.
Yeah, we had the entire back room. So I think they're really excited when they do see a lot of people that also might not normally be their clientele and come try the location. I know it was my first time in that restaurant after seeing it advertised. Yeah, we can drop Epicuse. Yeah, it was really awesome. And it was just like, I think they enjoyed it. Like, and you kind of know at the end of it, if they're like, oh, like, you know, hit us up and call us back anytime. Like the restaurant manager there even like offered us like, hey, here's like another like location that my friend is a restaurant manager at. Like, check out this email. They'd love to have you, things like that. But we've definitely also, I think, had other ones that might not have gone exactly, I guess, as maybe they were anticipating. But, you know, it's never a failure, I think. A lot of times, too, it's always so low key that, you know, if anyone shows up, that's awesome. And, you know, they're not paying us for the space. We really come and just, it's like a pop-up.
Yeah,
almost.
we set up the board or the table of this big pile of board games. When you look at the Instagram, some of that's in our last post.
Okay. What's on the Instagram?
Just to like hint. But so like that first post, we have a table full of board games, and we just set up and like set and forget it, and people can come and pick up a board game. Some places like I think they think we're asking to have like a private party.
Mhm.
And our point is like it's twofold. We want to bring in our members to different places in Syracuse, especially if they're more introverted or like, might not want to go to a bar because it's hard to like talk to people. But I'll go to a bar that's having board games, and you see a game that 3 people are playing, and it's a 4-player game. Can you deal me in? It's so much easier to meet people. But also, we're there for like to get people to know about us. The people who are already there, have them pick up a board game, and maybe they'll come to another event. And hopefully, we'll like. A lot of times when I'm reaching out to a place, I'll say like, "What's your?"
No.
It fell. I don't know if I have a photo of it. It fell twice. It fell, yeah.
Oh, no.
And like opened up, like everything opened
Oh
up.
God.
It was fun, but that greenhouse was great. We're gonna do more greenhouses in the winter. That was like a last minute thing. This is
Here's the FQs we're
FQs.
talking about. Yeah, Amelia said we're really just bringing bonus people to these places, like
Okay.
people that
I
normally
love
wouldn't be
Mysterium.
there, but are now there. So it's not like we're taking space away from anyone usually.
Yeah. People. It'll also like people
Too
have what?
Too soon.
Too soon, yeah.
I started-
Every time we
Most ironic game nowadays.
right now.
I started playing it like 1 month into the pandemic, and it was helpful because I was like, what?
Learning
This
how it
is
works.
hard. It's really hard to beat this game, so I get it. I had more like.
Little bit of understanding.
Yeah, like,
This is such a problem. At
We
this
understand
point.
CDC.
yeah. Like at first, I was like, "Come on, get it together," and then I played it, and I was like, "You know what, you guys, you're doing good." But yeah, we try to like. People tend to stay longer. People tend to like, have a fun drink when they're out. Like we do. I try to really push that to the venues. Like we'll keep people there for longer, keep them eating and drinking, safely. And it's a benefit to them, and we get a space to play,
So you don't pay them and they don't pay you, and it's just
it would be great if we could find some way
Right,
to
yeah.
recoup some cost. Where if you know of any, marketing people.
Yeah, especially when it's not a lot, but then there are times, Amelia said, we'd like to get a lot of games, have a nice fresh selection for everyone. Like the tournaments that we have will have decent prizes. Like sometimes we'll try to have gift cards to local gaming stores, or with us have kind of accumulated throughout the years a lot of gaming memorabilia, I should say. So we have a lot of stuff that we can give away, but we don't necessarily always want to be giving away our secondhand hand-me-down stuff. That's always a lot of fun. Thanks, Michaela.
I just remember, I think it was a Gary Vaynerchuk audiobook that I was listening to, and he was telling the story about an individual who had an idea essentially like this. He would create a pop-up event. It was like a networking event, but it was at like bars and restaurants, and somehow he convinced these restaurants to give him a cut of all the sales because he was bringing in so much extra than they would have. So I'm thinking if you can get these to get big enough that you're going to bring in this many people on like a random night, not a weekend where they know they're going to hit their quota on a Tuesday, then potentially you could get them to give you a little piece of the action.
Right? Yeah.
One day.
Really
For now,
cool,
we have a tip jar.
Or do you guys have anything like around here? We have something called Hacienda, and they do Hacienda give back nights. And I don't know if it's only for nonprofits or what, but if people come in and they eat food and they present a coupon that was given by like the nonprofit, then a portion of their proceeds would go towards that nonprofit.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that is. We have those, but like just for. It's really rude that you're coughing during our interview.
Wow.
It's really fucked up.
Stop.
Yeah.
Actually, John, why don't you just leave? I can't believe I put you on the screen here too.
I know, it's all right. Just
Same time.
Spotlight. Just
I
everyone else
keep,
windows
that's
can
my
go
hand
out.
at least. I keep myself out of the photos. I
And,
really.
Yeah, usually I'm not featured either. We try to keep the faces fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely a great idea in terms of ways we can put together.
That's Wonder
Monetize
Bar.
it.
That was the
Cool.
first grade. It's just like it was like half a dozen people. That's my best friend who I've made go to too many, and I love that. The photo you guys used was her and her
Yeah.
outfit.
It was colorful and it looked like people were having fun playing Mario Kart or whatever.
There's John before he
Yeah.
even when he was
There's
just
me before I even knew Amelia.
glimmer in my eye.
That's amazing.
A little sparkle.
But
And
yeah,
now just because you keep coming back to them, you've kind of gotten involved in the organization of it.
Yeah, it was like
yeah,
that
from
first
the
night.
it was
I was helping clean up, and I was like, "Hey, like, I love this. Like, this event was awesome. I'd love to see it again, and like help put it on." And like I said, I was like, I have a ton of. I think Amelia should brought her like N64 with a couple games and like a few games here and there. I'm like, would love to help like fill out the reserves and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
with board games and stuff. And from there, we exchanged contact information, and Syracuse Gaymers was born.
this is a pop-up I did in my photo studio.
Oh, cool.
We have an open studio every Christmas time, and this was one time that I want to say John was there, but two people came in and they were like, "Oh, hey, you like gaming? You should join this."
Yeah,
And
it was really neat.
and we were talking. Oh, this. You misremembering this story. We were talking about it, and I realized in my head I hadn't mentioned anything about like LGBT, and so I said like, yeah, I just like wanted to do something where queer gamers could go and play, because I just had it. I was like, I want to make sure.
Let me specify real
And
quick.
as soon as I specified that it was for queer gamers, even though it said gamers, the woman was like, "Oh." And like backed out of
back
her
away.
room, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, don't like. It's not. We do force everyone to be gay. We have them sign a contract, and you
In
know.
blood.
But
in
like,
blood.
By stepping foot into, you will be selling your heterosexuality out
yeah, but like
and
that's
bringing
not a
in
big
literally
deal.
any of the letters.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
I just want the plus because I'm an overachiever.
Yeah, so that one was at the art store that you're just looking at, Bowser, and yeah, like it's any place it'll have us really like to do it, and it's the great part about it is that we really can make any place almost work. You know, sometimes like, oh, if they have a projector, that's awesome. We can do like a tournament or something, but like a lot of times we just need a table, actually tables and outlets, and we bring the TVs, we
Yeah.
bring the games, we bring the systems, we bring it all.
Sometimes they're just like, there's a bookstore later. John again,
Mhm.
he's in it. He's always trying to get in the
Wow.
photo. This is one of my favorite venues because it's close to my house.
Nice.
But it's just a cool brewery. It smells like hops very strongly in one part, but as long as you don't like sit at that very one table, it's fine. But yeah, we'll sometimes like this bookstore. We went and just brought board games, and it was
No
great.
TVs.
No TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we really like to figure out kind of the vibe of the location first. Like if it's a library, we'll probably bring just the board games.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this brewery we did on Friday, they already have like one TV set up. So we really kind of want to figure out how people want to play and cater that way. Like these big events, we'll try to have a good 50-50 mix. But a lot of times we do just really focus on board games.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, a lot easier. At least for me, when I play Mario Kart, like I'm tunnel vision, like, oh, let me race
Uh-huh.
and forget
You're
to
not
talk.
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing with people. So I do like the board games aspect because you really do get a chance to socialize, and that's such a huge part of what we are and what we do. I think the bookstore one was Great. Actually, I'm not sure if
You
I
weren't
wasn't at that one. Okay, well maybe that's why.
And it's interesting that you guys do hit a different kind of venue, because T was curious if like a local hub is ever. T, you can speak more to.
Oh yeah. So you guys ever plan, or like, if you're in the perfect world, would you ever want to build like a HQ? Like, this is your, you can find us here 7 days a week. Like, this is going to be your home away from home. Because that's something I want for 4 Geeks, 5 Geeks. That, like, I want a brick and mortar. He is very anti this idea, but
it makes sense to me.
Well, if you had the money, who doesn't want a brick and mortar?
exactly. You have a bookstore. You've got games everywhere. You got a little PC cafe. There's so much you can do with a brick and mortar.
Oh, I would
You have
love
utilities and bills and liability insurance and
Yeah. Well,
That's what you're for.
yeah.
I'm the idea man. You figure out everything else.
Like, yeah, if I had the money for it, I would 100% love. I like fantasize about like having a little like. I mean, I guess it would just be like a game store with like a lot of tables,
Mhm.
and you know, one person we at our 1 year anniversary, my friend and I were standing there, and someone came in and she was like, "Oh, are you gonna do like a store? Is this like a plan?" And I was like, "No, the point is that we do pop-ups."
Right.
And I do like that, and it's also helps that I don't have the money for brick and mortar. That I'm like,
Yep.
you know, this is actually the plan to not have it. I actually don't want a brick and mortar. I would love to not have money to have a place, but yeah, I would love to like. I fantasize all the time about like owning a bar, owning an antique store. So of course, I would love to fantasize about a game place.
Yeah.
But it is cool currently in the model that you are not only highlighting, like connecting the LGBTQ community and gamers, but also local places that maybe they wouldn't often go to on their own. And then it's like a very community mindset, which I appreciate.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's one of the lucky parts about Syracuse, where we're such like a medium-ish sized city where we really can still have that like small town community. Like after working the first gamer night, immediately figured out that like her cousin I went to like elementary school with. So there's always like 6 degrees of connection like that with people in Syracuse. So it's nice to be able to do that with people that come to these. But then also, as you said, still experience new places that they wouldn't necessarily have gone on their own.
And I know, not to like stereotype, but we have a lot of introverts. We have a lot of people who like had never been to Wonder Bar. Had never been to like most of the bar locations we go to, because it's like really, you know, intimidating to go into a club, or, you know, but it really is, you can show up alone. We have a lot of people show up alone.
Yeah.
And like really you just sit down you know that like if there are 3 people playing an N64, there's a 4th controller there, so like pop on. And it's so much easier, and then you have something very like in front of you to talk about. You don't have to like think about
Where
God.
are you from?
Yeah.
The topics to talk about. You can just be like, hey, well, what's your favorite game? Like, how many games have you played? Have you played this before? What's your favorite part? And it's super easy just to go off of that. Well, Oliver's making a guest appearance again.
Hi, bud. Good morning.
Oh,
Plays over.
He's really high.
Yep.
I'm pro.
His schedule's getting thrown off.
Yeah. He's gonna go. But yeah, it's good for. It's just such an easy thing to like sit down and start a conversation. Either you're like joke shit talking the other person, which is my go-to, is to like.
Really, I don't get that vibe from you at all.
To a really bad, like sometimes I'm like, oh, you're running this event. Like there was one event where I was like, oh, I was watching people play Ticket to Ride, and I was like, who's winning? And this one person was like, I'm winning, and I was like, I don't like that color, so I don't want you to win anymore. And I was like, I think they thought I was serious, and I was like, oh, I forget I'm running this event and I'm really monotone. But it was an ugly color, so they lost. So
Just as you wanted,
Gratefully so.
Yeah.
Oh, you really pulled those strings.
Yeah.
Well, as we are gearing towards you talked about creating your dream space for a gamer event. We're going to create one in a few minutes towards the end of the stream. I found a site online where we can build a room and fill it with furniture. So we're going to create the dream space, and even T can throw in his dream FGBG comments as well. But before we get there, if somebody on this stream really wanted to host an event like this, can you give me some advice on maybe some pitfalls I can avoid or some things that you would do differently now that you know you've done it a few times?
Yeah, I think definitely one of the first things, and everyone, this is such a cliche, says for everything, like it's not going to happen overnight. From coming from the first event where it's just a handful of people to now this huge thing, it really is just stick with it and definitely try new ways. Where we kind of thought we were stuck at this one location, and we then brainstormed to other places, and then to figuring out how that could work. So definitely just get started and take that leap. The worst thing that can happen is that the venue says no, and then you're like, all right. But really, I'll let Amelia go into more details about it because it really was her original venture. But it really is just as a matter of a lot of things, just starting off and then seeing what happens.
Fuck around and find out. That's how we go.
I like
Make sure they have outlets. Outlets are important.
Yeah.
We showed up to our last venue, and they were like, "Yeah, you can plug games in." And I was like, "There's not a single outlet here."
Yeah,
so,
definitely
and
something
tables, lots of tables,
and definitely just redundancy. Like we bring so many HDMI cords every single time. We bring so many power strips. Like I think I had probably 2 or 3 Nintendo Switch docks at this point, just in case something happens. I bring like a gazillion controllers because there's always one that does not work. Or someone gets a drink spilled on it, or it decides to glitch out. So it's always nice to have a backup just in case.
Yeah, what happens if someone like wrecks your system?
I don't know, and I don't really
Yeah,
want to go down.
It has not happened yet. There's been a couple times where I've seen it like shake or something, but I always figure, it's part of the business, I guess, where I know that
the unpaid business.
Yeah, my unpaid business.
Yeah.
But really, it hasn't been an issue so far. People are careful. They recognize that this is our own stuff, and it's not, we didn't rent it from Walmart or something, so they can not really treat it willy-nilly. So everyone's been really respectful of everything we bring.
Well, that's good.
Knock on wood that stays.
Yeah.
And not
mixing alcohol with your personal property is always a good call.
Yeah. I try to keep an eye on it where we really can enjoy the events ourselves, but we do a lot of moderation while we're there, making sure that whoever has our stuff is using them responsibly, and people have drinks and knocked over and stuff.
The last venue we were at was a brewery that allowed children.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids there. There's a lot of kids.
True. They were, how old were they? 8?
They're probably 11.
11
or so,
I don't know.
That age, 11,
they were 3 years
elementary
old.
School kids.
Right.
And there were 3 of them, and they were, Michaela sat next to them to oversee, made sure, we were like, oh, these kids are gonna get angry and say a slur, and we get to do a teaching lesson.
Yep.
But also they were getting angry, and it was okay, well, those are all John's controllers, so I'll make sure
came over,
he
start playing Smash Bros, and we're swinging them around, and violently.
Rage quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we haven't, knock on wood.
There's
no wood here.
Yeah, so. It's really just making sure that Eagle Eyes, and I've always kind of done that with whether it was in college or with my friends, brought my stuff over and have seen people be rambunctious or younger cousins, things like that. I was the youngest, so I was always the one breaking them in our family. So now that I've
good
and stayed the video game nerd, I kind of know how precious they are. And I mean, I've broken my fair share of things too. I had my DS snapping a couch. I lose stuff all the time. So really, it puts in perspective that it's all right, you want things to be okay. You just got to keep an eye on them.
Okay, well, I was taking notes. I got when the con was outlets, lots of tables,
100
redundancy.
outlets. Every 6 inches an outlet.
Okay. Every 6. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we have it down to a mathematical formula now.
Because seriously, T, we need to work with I was
gonna say secret door is gonna be the easiest way to, or the Griffin.
Yeah, or Power Up Con.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
They
good one.
already want to collaborate with us on stuff. So if you're hearing any words of wisdom, you know where to find them. Use Command Gamers here in the chat, or we'll link their socials in the description below on YouTube and the podcast. And please, if you're in the local area of Syracuse, attend a gamer event. Bring a friend. Continue to spread the love, because the more people that attend these, then I think eventually these can be profitable for you, and it can become like a self-sustaining machine.
That's our hope, because I mean, at this rate, well, we get some donations. If we broke a system, it would take about 5 years to fix it. So
Yeah.
it would be nice to have, and like we said, we try to always get new games. Right now, as a lead up to Pride, okay, the dog is now like robo-tripping on those. As a lead up to Pride, I'm doing Tabletop Tuesdays, where we feature, those were like some of the first posts on Instagram. We feature one of our favorite games.
Okay.
The first game we featured was Sacred Rites. Have you ever heard of that? It's so have you ever played like Werewolf or Secret Hitler?
Yeah.
Very similar. It's actually by sadly defunct. They closed during the pandemic, a local gaming production company.
Okay.
And it's where you play in a cult. You're in a cult, and you're either the cult member or an outsider, and you have to like find the outsider and have to try to hide. And
I love it.
On us.
Yeah, very.
Nice.
And the best part is one of the main things you do is you chant. So like every time you say like I can't remember, my ritual is, my sacred rite is blank, and then everyone else in the group has to go blank. And it's very fun. And so that was our first. We're featuring like games that we love and that are available to play as like a gearing up people for Pride.
Yeah, so we'll have a little table there, just kind of show some information where you can find us, what to do, a little bit of games, or talk about a little bit of a prize wheel, maybe just something fun to keep you engaged.
The fact that Tavildo and Michaela both said blank at the same time in the chat.
They're cult members, obviously.
Sounds like the cultists of Syracuse Gaymers for being here in the chat. So thank you guys for hanging out with us on Twitch. Stick around because we are going to figure out what is our dream space if we are having a gaming event. What would it look like? What do we need? We want to hear from you in the chat, and especially you, Amelia and John, the pros. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so here is our blank slate. The space is 38 and 3 inches by 24 and 9 inches, as any dream space would be. When you're putting these events together, does it
we're good.
work better longer? Does it a square? Is that what we need?
I think long is good, because then you can have. I would like a bank of the game systems, and now I'm just making an arcade again.
Essentially, we want an arcade, right?
We could have half of it be the arcade, and then half of it be the board games.
Okay.
I demand Dance Dance Revolution. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh,
Perfect.
We'd have to have a stage then. Does this have stages?
Ooh, okay.
Asking the important questions.
Our corner, maybe. That's
Okay,
always
let's see.
favorite.
I can put.
Well, you need a bunch of fireplaces, obviously.
Of course.
Obviously.
Some exposed wires if they have that.
Ooh, yeah.
Rusty nails sticking up from the floor.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Broken
I
glass.
actually might want to download this after.
Asbestos.
This is like The Sims, but
Yeah, but free.
Real.
it's great.
This is really cool.
Obviously, we need
Technically,
some
The Sims
pillars.
4 is free right now. You just don't get any goodies unless you buy all of the DLCs.
I'm looking for like half walls. I'm not even seeing any kinds of walls.
Fences. Put some fences in there.
Yeah, there's some.
Oh, you want
Make
me
a
to
stage or something. I guess I can't make a stage right now.
the dogs?
Oh wait, here we go. Wall.
No.
Okay.
Change wall type.
Oh god. Where do we want our? This is as much as you can zoom out. That's stupid. I can't move. Oh god. No! What am I doing?
Why don't you just open up The Sims
I love
and
it.
let's romance. Let's make each other and let's all like go in a pool, take the ladder out.
Yes.
See
Let's
who
go
wants
to
more of
surviving
it.
ones.
Put them in the shower and take away the shower. We've all done it.
Yeah, yeah. My
Okay,
friend would make. She often made little prisons in her basements, and
God.
like
Tell me.
everybody. Yeah, as like a straight up adult, she did this like 3 weeks ago.
I love it. Okay, so we need some TVs, it sounds like.
Yeah, we need some tables.
Oh, tables. Tables. Of course, tables. Sorry, it's my first time using this program and building and making a gaming event. What kind of table? A sturdy table? A folding table?
The weaker the
I
table,
want
the
a
better.
modern table. I like those tables. I like that black table. I'm
Okay.
pointing at it. You
I have a
can
lot of
see
nostalgia for like just good old fashioned like kitchen dining room tables where like high school you pull the board games out, clear the stuff out of the way.
Hey, if it works, it works.
For our new fantastic room that can have anything we want, let's go the modern.
John
Okay.
thinks of his be like an avant-garde arcade where it all looks like a house in the 90s.
Yeah, honestly,
Oh, that
that's what I
actually
need.
would be
Just-
like a really popular
I would need
pop-up.
like
Actually,
a futon and like a little TV stand. A
that
TV
idea is
that's not too big,
trademarked
but-
too, so don't steal that idea.
Okay, I'm giving you 2 big tables at the end for all your games.
Cool.
Is that enough? How many tables do you need in your
What's
dream
that?
space?
2. That's good.
Okay.
That's good, yeah.
We got plenty of dancing room, so the rest of it is DDR.
See,
Just
we're
all
on
the
the
rest.
same page.
Oh wait, that's
I
not
will
the one.
accept Guitar Hero as an alternative if we can't
Oh,
get
God.
DDR.
We
That's
had
nice.
we had one event where I feel so bad for those people. I was so excited. Someone donated Rock Band, the full Rock Band, and then I also like went and had to buy all the dongles for it. I bought
Yeah.
a bass dongle, a drum dongle, everything, and it was like 3 game events in a row that I would show up and we would be like, "Oh, you're missing a dongle."
Yeah.
And
no.
pack it all up. And so finally I had everything. I had spent like $150 on this free rock band, and truly they spent these like guests of our gamer night spent like 2.5 hours
Like
trying
calibrating
calibrating
everything.
it.
Yeah.
Like they were all just staring dead-eyed at the screen.
It was really nice. They really tried to get to work,
And they
but
never
it
did.
did not want to work.
They failed.
But we did have Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii, like a little stand-up TV actually still do at
Still
our one
do,
event,
yeah.
and that worked really well. And for like the dual Guitar Heroes, so that's a lot of fun. That would be another game, and I think I saw a chat on that earlier. I'd love to have a new revamp of that come out.
It's just a good classic one that no matter what you're doing, you can do it competitively. You can do it just lounging around. It's got classics on there. It's just a fun one to interact with.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, I
really
realize these tables are not, or the chairs are not facing the right direction.
No, everybody
That's
has to
perfect.
sit at the side.
So that
I
works
like
because
a-
in the beginning of our events, we do a giant like spiel about why you have to be gay and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So they're usually- so
And where do
I
we
teach
where do
them
we
all
do that?
about the alphabet mafia. You have a whiteboard.
Mafia, you get it. You get it.
yep.
And so
I
that'll
like
happen
the
over
ones
here
in
because that's where
modern
everyone's facing. So this is your
Yeah.
platform.
Yep.
Do we have like a microphone that you could? Is that an option? Under
Is there not like a search option? Because that would make that
Oh.
so much more convenient.
Well, it's a free program. You can't.
You're not
Come on.
wrong.
Listen,
Look at sockets and switches. You can
I'm
put in all
impressed.
this.
Every 6 inches.
Put in a bunch of security cameras.
well, yeah, because it's,
I want to watch everything
It's-
they're doing.
as an LGBTQIA,
Do we have to
Oh.
make the walls, or is it just?
I have
I
to
think
build
you have
walls.
to make walls.
Listen,
No,
it'll just be at foot height. It'll be really
Yeah.
sexy.
Just pictures of everyone's feet.
Yeah,
after
it's
the
doing your
game
OnlyFans.
is- That's how we make money.
That's our second account. Syracuse
Finder,
Okay.
that's how you can fund everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to put a TV over on that one.
Print for the
Oh,
tournament.
that's too small. We want a big TV, right? We
Big
don't want this
TV.
piece of crap
Yeah.
monitor. Get out of here.
Depends. We
No,
like to have small
it
TVs
can that
for
one
our-
can live on the floor.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We have like our a little
Maybe
mini
delete it. Okay.
window and like other stuff that we usually use small TVs for, and then
Oh yeah,
big-
there we go.
like something the tournament or Mario Kart.
Yeah, something that high res.
So are you guys actually going like classic game system with cartridges, or have you guys looked into like the modern emulated? Like you like they have the GameCube one coming out that has 200 games on it. I know they have like the Super Nintendo that's got however many games. Are you guys going that route, or are you guys going like bringing out like the money maker stuff?
for the N64, the Wii's, those are all like we have a binder of discs. I brought like a PS2 the first game the first night, and no one used it, so that has been retired.
The disrespect.
Amelia has one of the N64 cartridges that are like like the 4-in-1 games, I think. So we have that. But like for the Super Nintendo, I have like the Super Nintendo Classic that Nintendo released. So it's like got I think like 20 of their classic games. So that's nice. And I mean, I'm not
to have
against
an
emulation
emulator,
at all.
but a lot of them didn't work.
Yeah.
We had my friend Josh lent us his emulator that had like 1,000 games, and it was like, well, 30% of them work, and which 30%, who knows?
And I think a lot of it too is that we try to have it as easy as possible for everyone to figure it out. When they see the giant emulation list, that's like the black screen with just white text and everything. They're like, how
It's
do
a
I?
lot.
Start? It is a lot.
And people just want to
nothing
play
to play.
Mario and Tetris.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
Keep
all.
it simple.
And the binders too. They know how to put things in the Wii. They don't know how to open up homebrew and choose from there.
I like that you discovered how to turn the chairs.
I did. Are you
Oh, yeah.
impressed yet?
It's over.
Somebody said that we need some couches for decompressing.
I like that.
Couches, yes, please.
Who said that?
Michaela.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Michaela did that. The dog is fully awake and
I
fully playing
Would
with
love
toys.
just like a corner sectional couch with just like
Yes.
that little coffee table right there in front of it. I can just
Oh
live-
yeah.
That's all I need.
We love a sectional.
Let's put a pull out so if people want to sleep, take a little nap.
Like a square of a sectional.
I like
Just, you
that.
can't leave once you relax.
My better half is very anti, but I think you need a like a 70s conversation pit.
Yeah, those are
I like
coming back.
that.
Those are coming into vogue.
I'm all for them. She hates them with a burning passion.
How old is she? She does how? Why does she?
The issue is she's got the most brittle ankles, so she would 100%
Brittle
break both of them
ankles?
anytime she would get in or out.
You're really calling her out. I was gonna say, like, has she? I imagine she's your age. Like,
Yeah, she's 26.
Yeah,
It's
so she's, like,
100% just ankles. She would.
just afraid of them.
She's clumsy. She'd trip right into it.
You just put like one of those little like gerbil feeders in there, like a wheel or something. She never has to leave, and you're good. Just live in the conversation pit.
They're good.
It's
I saw a
perfect.
TikTok of someone who found a conversation pit in their floor. What a fun!
What a fun little surprise.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, this floor feels hollow," and
And it
then
was underneath?
yeah, it was underneath it.
That's dope.
I saw one the other day. They found a well in their kitchen.
I saw that
Yeah.
too. We're on the same TikToks.
Yep.
That's the fun. TikTok is like a blight on the universe, but like it's great when you find people who are in your same like niche algorithms.
Did you see that video? Like knowing full damn well you shouldn't be seeing that video. They're like, yeah. I'm like, We should not be trauma bonding right now.
Oh, I love my favorite thing. Speaking of gay, is when all the politicians are like, "All TikTok is gay porn and little twinks dancing around," and I'm
bunch
like,
of smut.
"Oh my god!"
As we're
on your
all aware of like
For
how
You
it
page.
actually gets there.
Yeah, and mine looks different because I don't click yet. So, Mr. Senator.
Mine is all mental ill TikTok, queer TikTok. It diagnoses me with a new disease or a
Yeah,
new.
I'm pretty sure you and Sky are sharing the same TikTok feed.
Yeah.
Can I like?
I say I
Choose
love the
multiple
sectional
things.
console. It's perfect. I love that corner.
This is a beautiful. This is you're making this genuinely nice.
Okay, so what else do we need?
What's going on that very long table? Is that where the games go?
That's where the games go, I guess.
Yeah, thank you.
So I am curious.
There's all this
Is
space
it
on that
the
side.
classic board games that are most popular because those are like easy for people to just like already know how to play, or there's some like niche ones that like tend to be surprisingly popular?
I would say like the people love a party game. People love a Cards Against Humanity's, Joking Hazard. Like I've been trying to buy more. I just bought. Have you ever heard of Wavelength?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, is that what we tried to play that one time with the TikTok? G?
I think
It
it's
wasn't a TikTok game. I think
It popped off on, but like those are the ones that are like 5 minutes.
yeah.
But we have a set that like play Catan, play Ticket to Ride. I like to buy the ones like Ticket to Ride has the smaller cities,
Mhm.
and those are much shorter games, and they're cheaper, so I can buy like multiples because the ones I try to keep like a running list of like what games haven't made it out in a while.
Right.
Maybe keep those at home for a bit. Whenever it's like the heaviest games, whenever I'm like, oh, no one's used that in like 3 gamer nights, and then I'm like, I get to not bring it, and someone
My issue for these events was like I love like 4-hour board games, like Mansions of Madness. That's my shit, but I can't convince anybody to give me 4
Someone-
hours.
I love Mansions of Madness.
Lose, like you don't win that game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
suffer slowly together.
Even Catan is pretty long, but like I had just Target had a big. I try to buy local from our local places, but Target had a big sale, and I like picked up a few that felt like twee and hipster, like stuff that I thought was cool, and I like after I ordered it, I looked at the reviews, and one was like. Our first time playing it took 5 hours to play, and I was like, well, gonna cancel that order and buy a bunch of I replaced it with code names and
That's a good one.
I do think too we actually do get like a good mix. Like there's actually a couple of regulars that will come and like bring their own games that we don't have, and they'll teach us, and which I really love because one, they do a great job, and like it's learning a new game that I haven't played before, and also I've tried to play or teach people how to play games before, and I just am really bad at explaining things. I go like round and about, and I'm like, oh well, you want to do this, but first you have to do this. And in order to do that, you have to collect those 4 things. But in order to get those 4 things, and it's really
and that is the
somewhat
tough part of being a host is making sure you can answer all of those questions, because people are going to turn to you expecting you to be able to answer that question for them.
I try to learn a new game every gamer night.
Smart.
So
me too.
Yeah, and like I love when I taught people how to play the Great Del Moody, and I taught it like fairly like quick, and then like a bunch of new people came in, and I had to reteach these people, and I got it down and, like tighter, and that was like 3 months ago, and I'm still like, yeah, that was really good. That was a good one. But Michaela, who keeps shouting out on here, is our designated rule learner.
Rules lawyer, yeah.
Give her the instruction booklet. She will go into a corner, read it for 10 minutes, and then teach everybody the game. That's her
me at my house.
official
See,
rule.
I can't do that. I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I can,
Me too.
I will not comprehend. If I'm not physically doing it, I'm not going to figure out these rules. I'd be a terrible host. How do you play this? Fuck if I know, man.
My eyes glaze over.
YouTube University, real quick, how to play.
YouTube is the best, and they have the like. the best games are the ones that have Oregon Trail had it, where it literally does the
5-minute hot play.
Yeah, and it says like John rolls first, and he picks this, and it like goes through a
scenario to have you get to walk through. Yep.
And the games like Pandemic has the little info cards that everybody has, and it tells you what you do on each year.
Yeah.
Oh, a little
like
bar.
Do like little snack bar.
Is that good? Do we got a bar?
I love it. I think it's great.
I really just want a coffee shop that I can. I'm gonna give myself a heart attack from how much coffee I drank. I try to have. I want more. Like, we're doing a game night at like noon in the summer because I really want a coffee shop. I want more like coffee shops that every time we go into a coffee shop, they're like, "Oh, well, we turned off our espresso light."
We're done at 5 o'clock. And it's like, I'm just
like
getting
you
out
can
of work,
use it, but so
that's
definitely got to be like, you're gonna definitely have to like learn the market to find that niche and timing, because again, like if you want that coffee shop vibe and aesthetic, like that's not going to be a late in the evening thing. Like that's a middle of the afternoon time frame to be able to pull off. And
we've done a couple. The art store was like a really long event, and that started at 3 to 9. I think it was 6 hours long. We'll do that again. And we're doing the during the day coffee shop, and we're actually teaming up with the Syracuse Public Libraries.
Nice.
And we're in talks to like maybe do some at the city parks or the county parks. I don't know. It just like I'd like to. I do these events, and when I schedule them at 9, I'm like, "Hey guys, it's 8:59, so we're gonna have to be all done, and I'm gonna have to be packed up at 9." And it's always people end up finishing around 9:40, and I get home at 10 o'clock, and I need to be in bed by like 9:30.
I'm done. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Okay, so how's our room looking? We kind of can walk through a little bit. We've got a bar here. So we come in, we get our drink.
I love the white void. That's my favorite part.
The white void, yes. Can we just walk into the void?
Perfect.
It adds
This
to
is
the
purgatory. If you're not bad enough to go to purgatory, but you're not quite to the threshold of getting to whatever heaven you believe
I love
in,
it.
We can just
you get the white room with board games.
watch as.
But you can never finish that.
You can
Something
never
always
finish that. That's
happens
a good
right
point.
before the end.
You're always missing a key piece.
Or all the games are Monopoly.
Mousetrap, you're missing that one part to get everything rolling.
Thanks for popping by, Umbrin. Sorry, I was building a room and we weren't looking. Go get some rest. So we've got a bar there. We come in, so we walk in the door. It's out by the dance floor. We're a little nervous, so we get a drink. What are we ordering?
Capri Sun.
We only stock Capri Sun.
Give me that hard stuff, the Capri Sun.
Yeah.
Leave the straw.
On the rocks, please.
And then we walk in past all these people having fun playing Mario Kart here. Not Smash Brothers, because we're not toxic. And there's a couple tables. We spot the seats available, but we're not quite sure. We got to take a lap. And we see some people playing games here. And ooh, this is a comfy spot. Playing Cards Against Humanity in the corner. And there's a whole table full of other games. And I'm going to choose to just play Arctic Soldiers by myself. Solo the campaign. How'd we do?
Perfect.
That's beautiful.
I think it's great, and it really is. Like, this would be an awesome space for us to have an event.
Well, congratulations. It's
Thanks,
yours! Ty Pennington! Move that bus!
I don't see a single fucking outlet.
One thing we asked for.
It's the one thing I asked for. I want outlets on the floor all over.
Can we do that? Let's see.
So we're good.
Yeah, before we end. Oh, you can make it in the city? You can make it not be in a void?
Oh, yeah, we can make it so we're just floating above a neighborhood.
It's horrifying.
We have always wanted to do like an outdoor event of some sort, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll just do it on the ground next time.
Don't look down.
That is too high res. I don't care. That is making me. You gotta get back on that floor, but.
Oh God. Oh God.
Put us back in that void. I like the void. There you
Safe
go.
space, white walls, padded everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
I accidentally clipped on his
No.
face. Would you like to pay $29 for the year?
Who's paying? Who's doing this? I guess like an architect. I don't know. They know
Interior designers, I could see.
interior designer. I'm like, I went to a school that we had an architecture program.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like most people are just gonna load up Sims. You're gonna have more options to really get an idea of what you can do to a room anyway.
I hope if you're an architect, you have your own.
Use CAD.
Right, yep.
Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank
You.
you.
This has been a blast.
I'm
Again.
inspired. I really want to do one of these, T. Let's
But
get.
we have a lot of things we need to do, like our 24-hour live stream.
Oh yeah, we got to do that first. For when we hit 500 followers here on Twitch, and we're nearly to 6. So, oops.
Well,
That's incredible.
you guys have to come to Retro Game Con. We'll be there in some capacity.
We now have an excuse to make a plan for it. So
Exactly.
And it's beautiful. Oh, well, you're. I was going to say it's beautiful in the fall here, but it's probably beautiful where you are too in the fall.
Ish. It's Indiana, so it's all right.
Oh, we have the Adirondacks.
Aw, the chairs and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Chairs, got them all.
If you guys haven't already, hit that command, gamers. Go give them a follow. It goes to the link tree, so you can follow them on Instagram. Go on Discord and continue this conversation if you want to begin hosting one of these in your hometown. We can start a whole network of the gamers, and then people have to charge. You have to charge people a fee to be part of the guild. I'm trying to get you guys some money.
$100.
I like that.
$100
That's
a
great
member.
idea.
Yeah,
$500
yeah.
is the
Membership for a seal to show that you're a legit seal, and you have to uphold these certain gamer standards.
Mhm.
Can't just be any Yahoo out there starting their own thing.
I want to
Of
make
course.
it as close to a cult as possible.
Some sort of pyramid scheme.
without Jared Leto
Ooh,
getting
blank.
any weird ideas.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you two can start your own versions of them.
Okay,
And
after
yeah.
we pay the fee, of course.
First flagship location. So
Yeah.
Well, if this was your first Geek Out Sesh, thank you for hanging out, you guys, with the Syracuse Gamers. They have been amazing, Amelia and John. Come back next Monday when we are hanging out with Mrs. P, the streamer on Twitch. She has been present for one of your one-shots, T, right?
Yep.
And what's unique about her?
Miss P is actually a Twitch partner, so we're going to be able to learn a lot about how to make this profitable because we're not.
We're in the same boat with you, Syracuse. We do this shit for free. And then T, what do
That's
you?
a passion, right?
Yeah.
It is a passion. It's fun. It's just this is how we fill our cup, just not monetarily. T, what do you got going on Wednesday?
Wednesday birthday stream. If we've got Eugene available, we're going to do some Drunk Mario Party or Drunk Mario Kart. If he is not available, I'm going to build a Gundam because I have tripped and fallen into that fandom now. So
Oops. Blame Moose.
always do.
And then Thursday is still nothing for the time being. Normally we would be
Until
streaming our
May 4th.
TTRPG campaign, but we just recorded our first episode on Saturday. You guys, I was in charge. I've got little cups with fate points, and I've got all of these, and I am like organized kinda, and I think it wasn't a complete failure. So tune in. I think beginning of May is when we're gonna start airing those. It'll be live here on live pre-recorded here on Twitch, but then again on YouTube and podcast, as will this episode if you are just tuning in and you missed anything. Because tomorrow it's gonna be live on YouTube and podcast. Hey, Amelia and John, I never told you that. Tomorrow it's gonna be live
Wow.
on YouTube.
Tune in. Give it a good listen.
But as always, thank you guys for joining us. I am Bowser.
I'm T.
Who we rating? Oh, you
We're
already
gonna go
got
see
it.
Sneaky Smarties.
Awesome. And who are you lovely folks?
I'm John.
I'm Amelia.
This is Oliver.
Oh,
Thank you again for having us, Closer and T. It was really a pleasure, and happy early birthday.
Thanks, man.
It was a great time.
Glad you guys enjoyed yourself.
Definitely.
and until next time, you guys just keep geeking out.
Now.
I
Good night.
forgot what
We told them though. We told them.
you did.
We told them.